Hello, everyone. This is Whitney Will from Star Hearth Astrology, and this is your weekly astrology check-in. It is the very end of the day on Thursday, May 12th, and I'm finally getting to sit down and talk about the week ahead. And it's a big week. We have our second eclipse in eclipse season, but really looking at the transits ahead, they're a lot about the sun and they're a lot about Mars. And when we're talking about the sun and Mars together, these are really the masculine active principles in our lives, right? So there's a lot of kind of will and drive and vision connected with both of these planets. And they're really kind of our big players. For this coming week. And so I'm expecting, right, when we have things happening with the sun and Mars, we're kind of, and I think with eclipse season and Mercury retrograde and stuff, we're having kind of a change of plans. And hopefully our plans are coming to align more with where we are, with what's true for us, right? Eclipses can kind of shake up these old shells of identity and kind of like the veneer cracks and it falls away. And right, you're like the fresh version of yourself underneath that has been growing under this hard shell the entire time. So I hope that is the experience that you have. So we start on Thursday, the 12th. We've got a Libra moon that is swelling almost until fullness. This is kind of the busiest time of the lunar month. I've definitely been feeling that, just working a lot. And then on Friday, the 13th, or depending on your time zone, this could also be happening on Thursday. No, this happens on Friday for everyone. The sun conjoins the North Node. And when planets can join the North Node, they kind of swell up in their own sense of themselves. And when that's the sun, that's our sense of ourselves. So there can be this kind of sense of like really getting excited about the projects that we're attempting, really having this kind of wholehearted belief that where we're going is the right path, which is beautiful, right? That's beautiful. Kind of helps us realign with that, like, okay, I got the ball rolling. Now it's happening. Like, yes. So that's a kind of empowering transit, can get like a little bit overblown as with any contact with the North Node. But I think overall kind of like sends us into the weekend with a tremendous amount of enthusiasm, which I think we're going to need. On Sunday at 9 p.m. So this is technically going to be like just after midnight on Monday for the East Coasters. We have a lunar eclipse that happens at 25 degrees of Scorpio. Now, if you want to go check out my eclipse season video, I kind of break this down more in depth, but this eclipse is not like the eclipse we had a couple of weeks ago. This eclipse is fraught. It is the moon in Scorpio, the sign of her fall. And right, the moon has so much to do with our ability to feel safe and secure. And in Scorpio, right, Scorpio has this almost magnetism towards things that are not safe and not secure, right? It's this kind of gravitation towards the darker things that kind of destabilize. So that's kind of my 2-second take on the moon in Scorpio being in its fall. And then she's being eclipsed. So this is a really beleaguered moon. So really be mindful about your body, about the nurturing, your giving and receiving. This can be a point of exhaustion. This can be a point where things kind of break down a little bit and you realize like, right? It's a full moon, so it's a pivot point, right? You cannot put more into what is happening. Your body is giving out, your energy is giving out. As if that weren't complicated enough, this eclipse happens in in a pretty much exact square to Saturn. So, right, Saturn being these external obligations, these external structures, really constricting us, right? When Saturn and the moon come into contact, what we really have is this wrestling between the short term, immediate sense of things, which is the moon, and the long term, kind of long view of things, Saturn. And so, right, we have our, what we feel we need to do in order to proceed on our 10-year plan. And then we have the moon, how our bodies are feeling in this moment, how our daily life is feeling overwhelming or not. We also have Venus conjoining Chiron, right? We have the heart center conjoining the wound. So another kind of, right, like this is like a potent eclipse for really reflecting on our own wounding. Painful realizations can come out of this eclipse. So just be practicing self-care as always with eclipses. Don't go too crazy. Don't go outside and try to watch it. Or do, but just understand that when you put yourself in the beams of the eclipse, then you're likely to get a stronger experience as a result. This eclipse in Scorpio is ruled by Mars that is coming into a conjunction with Neptune that will perfect on Tuesday. So, right, so we have Mars, the ruler of Scorpio, the driving force, the ability to get to those painful truths, the ability to see into that shadow and to be able to tolerate it. And it is coming into contact with Neptune, which dissolves our ability to limit things, our own suffering among them, makes things really unclear. So there can be a misinterpretation, some misunderstandings around a fully eclipsed moon in Scorpio with Mercury retrograde that get us all kind of heightened and jacked up and feeling like things have to happen really fast. When I think what we will find is that that's not actually true. They do not actually need to happen on our timeline, right? One of the ways to screw yourself over with Mercury retrograde is to kind of get entrapped in these beliefs about urgency, right? And thinking that things have to happen right now and kind of forcing doors open that are shut. Forcing things to happen on our timeline. And so this Mars conjunction Neptune ruling this eclipse can, I think, go either way in terms of surrendering and kind of letting go, understanding that, right? Like maybe we don't need to do that. And what we're sacrificing is our timeline. Or it can get really kind of entranced into a kind of holy war of its own convictions and really be pushing things and not realize how much is being sacrificed in that process. So if you can, right, take it slow, refrain from making decisions, right? The eclipses will give you enough information that you know that you can move forward. But you don't have to take action right now, right? Eclipse cycles send us on kind of 5.5-month journeys that are bound in books that are 18 months long and a pair of topics. And we read the prologue to this story with the November 19th eclipse. And now we're kind of getting part 1 in this eclipse season. And so not thinking you have to finish it or you have to do every part of it in the immediate aftermath of these eclipses. And so that will really bring us pretty much through the next week. Um, there's no kind of major outer planet alignments. On Thursday, the 19th, we have the sun trining Pluto, which can just increase the intensity of things, can kind of feel like what we're doing. The stakes are raised, but it's gentle. And then on the 20th, we enter Gemini season, and we have a little bit of a different feel. The sun is going to move into Gemini, and now suddenly the sun is ruled by Mercury retrograde. So, so that'll be a different vibe of reconsidering things. So that's your week ahead. Right? Sit tight through the eclipses, absorb what you can. Don't rush into action. Assume that you don't have all the information. And I'll see you next week. Bye.